What is going on, everybody? It's Alex coming back with another video, and today we are doing round two of this final mock draft. Again, it's technically not the final one. There's going to be a first round on the day of the mock of the actual NFL draft. So stay tuned for that. And then we're going to be going live with Broshmo, possibly on this and his channel. So you guys should definitely stay tuned for that because it's going to be very fun. But let's just hop into this. You guys are probably already seeing round one. If you haven't, check it out already. I heard some negative things about Elijah Moore trade up. I know my boy Mark wanted to get a tackle there, but given the circumstances with how some teams have already kind of taken tackle and stuff, I think that we could probably still get some good value there. So don't worry. I just think Elijah Moore is an elite playmaker who actually will be taken day one. So watch out for that. Number 33, we got the Ravens, who did trade back 2 spots with the Jags for a next year 5th. Crazy shit. This one, I'm definitely between 2 players. I'm between Joe Tryon, which I think Ronnie Perkins would fit, but then again, we don't have another second round pick. So we got Ronnie Perkins, who could be like a potential trade up in the 3rd. It's some stupid idea. So we got Joe Tryon as an option because we desperately need some extra pass rush, or we got Terrace Marshall. And I would rather go Terrace Marshall if we had that second round pick. But the problem is we don't. And the Ravens traded back. They got some extra draft capital. Not much, but they got some extra stuff. Joe Tryon to me is like a transcendent potential. Like, I just love what I've seen from him. He hasn't played in a year, but we already know the Ravens make the most out of nothing, man. I'm telling you, they made like Matt Judon like a 50 mil a year, 50 mil a year, 50 mil player. So if they're able to do that, I think they're able to make Joe Tryon reach his maximum potential. I'm actually a big fan of this. We could have went center there, but then again, I've started going against that idea, given the fact that Matt Bozeman might be moved to center. We also could be getting a guy like Trey Hill, who would honestly probably fit this offensive line pretty well later on. We could, of course, have gone Creed Humphrey there as well, but I don't like Creed Humphrey. Number 34, we got the Saints. And the Saints, I'm down to 3 positions. I'm down to Jamin Davis at linebacker. I'm down to Terrace Marshall, a wide receiver, because again, he has a lot of potential. Kadarius Toney as well. That's another player I haven't really mentioned. Even De'Ami Brown. De'Ami Brown could be a very sneaky pick right here. And then even at cornerback, Asante Samuel Jr. I know cornerback's a huge need for us, but man, like there's a lot of big needs on this squad. It's very unfortunate. Of course, we have another second round pick. So the question is, will there be more corners on the board? Because I think ASJ should be taken around this point. Is there going to be more corners or more wide receivers at that second pick? And if we pass on a wide receiver, the worst case scenario, we'll probably get Amon-Ra St. Brown or Talon Wallace. I think that's why we can pass on that. In terms of linebackers, if we pass and we want to wait to the second round pick, then we'd probably be dealing with a Jabril Cox, who could probably work in that Quan Alexander role. Worst case scenario, 3rd round, Karen McGrone or McGroon. I don't know how to actually fully pronounce it. This is a tough spot because we could just go Jamin Davis, who has a lot of day. He could probably get taken day one with his timing and everything. But man, it's a very, very sticky situation because you don't have any corners, you don't have any linebackers, and you really don't have any wide receivers to really note. Edge even as well. So this is a tough one because we could pass and then maybe later on get a guy like Trill Williams. But man, we could Keith Taylor as well. You guys know my love for Keith Taylor. This is gonna be tough, but if we're gonna be honest, I think cornerback is the way to go. There's a big drop off after this. I think Asante Samuel Jr. has the attitude, the aggressiveness, and he's just a beast. I really like Asante Samuel Jr. And I think that he possibly will go day one. He has a lot of potential too. I wouldn't be surprised if the Saints took him in the 1st round. They took him right here. I wouldn't be surprised. He's an excellent player. At number 35, we got the Falcons. And this is a toughie. This is a big toughie. Because I'd want to go an outside linebacker right here. But I don't really see any really good outside linebackers, right? Joseph Asai is definitely a target I would be considering here. And it might be a target I go after. But it's another tough situation because we could go corner here as well. Corner is pretty brutal in this squad. Quarterback wise, not gonna ever do it. You're gonna be trying to get a backup at this point. And like linebacker wise, we don't need any more inside linebackers because again, Michael Walker as well. I mean, Aluakon, I don't think he can pass rush. So Aluakon, Walker, Deion Jones. That's why they're trying to need an outside linebacker blitzer in the 3-4, like a 3-4 edge. So We might be wanting to move back here, guys, because there are some amazing talents on the board. Najee Harris, Jamin Davis. I could see just a one-pick swap right here with the I'm bugging the Dolphins. I know I love the Dolphins too. That's the funniest thing. But I think that we're gonna stay put with the Dolphins right now. Looking for teams that might want to move up for some very good players. You still see Terrace Marshall on the board. I'm not seeing the Bengals trading up for him, but that's probably my ideal destination right now. Because again, you know, it's I mean, Penei Sewell was taken, so you kind of passed on Jamar Chase. You can get the other LSU guy, which is probably going to be the case. Jamin Davis is here, and honestly, what do we do? This could be interesting. Um, I'm potentially going to pull this trigger because this is a small jump back for the Falcons. They're going to still be able to get a guy like Joseph Asai at that next pick, who I have him as an early second. Yet the other team will need to move up because there are teams like the Eagles trying to lurk this player. I like this idea. We're moving up with the Broncos again. Again, I think they're Super Bowl contenders right now. Potentially. It really just depends on whether Trey Lance works out. Obviously, if apparently Justin Fields falls, then okay. Like then they're in the Super Bowl conversation. But it's a small jump back, so I think a six should be able to pull that off, maybe a fifth. I'm honestly quite surprised by this. We don't have too many needs, so we're going to offer a fifth, and then we might be in the Super Bowl next year. So we're going to offer a fifth and the next year four to be moving up. And we're going to ask maybe for a sixth in return just to get some extra draft capital later on that could flip into like a fifth or a fourth of next year if we're lucky, and get Jamin Davis. I mean, we miss out on Micah Parsons. We get Trey Lance. Imagine Jamin Davis in that defense with Vic Fangio. He is untested, but look at him. He's athletic as fuck. And I mean, this is honestly, to me, it's the best case scenario. I absolutely love this pick. At number 36, the Dolphins. Technically, we could go Najee Harris here, 100%. You'd basically be throwing out all the other running backs, but I think that you guys have a good enough core. You guys do not have a center. Again, I'm not a fan of Max Skura, so I'm going to be kind of holding off on my love for him. Guard-wise, you just released Eric Flowers. So that could mean you're going after a tackle to push in Robert Hunt to guard. But I think that you can use DJ Fluker at guard because I think that might be where he played at his best. And you can use Landon Dickerson as a starting caliber center. I think that that's the best move right now. If we pass on him, I know another team's going to want to take him. I know another team like Pittsburgh is going to be wanting to move up for this, but they're not going to be able to. We're going Landon Dickerson here. Also pairing up with Tua Tagovailoa. It's just I don't think Matt Skura, he got a really cheap-ass contract, and there's a reason for it. He's not that great. Obviously, I think Landon Dickerson has a much higher ceiling on a guy where Lamar's going to be pretty much the commander of that offense, where he's going to be able to run around and avoid pressure. Tua is not nearly as athletic, so you need to get a higher caliber center, and Landon Dickerson's perfect for that. I love Landon Dickerson, personally. At number 37, the Eagles are sitting here. And honestly, I could see us trading back again. That could be a good target because I know I really want to pick up like a guy like Terrace Marshall. But dude, if we could trade back and pick up a De'Ami Brown, I mean, that to me is kind of like gold. That's like my standard of gold right there. I like De'Ami Brown a lot. Apparently, he's a sneaky day one pick. I could even pull the trigger on him right here. But looking for a team to make a micro trade back because I still want to be in striking range. Because if we pass on De'Ami Brown here, there's plenty of places. We cannot pass 51. That's my spot for De'Ami Brown. If we trade past here, like I'm thinking about the Steelers trying to move up for Najee Harris, it's a no-go. So with that being considered, looking at teams, we could see the Jaguars try to move up again because the Jaguars desperately need a tackle. And Liam Eichenberg's on the board. And I know that if you move back here, let's look at teams. This is going to be a Terrace Marshall move. This probably is going to be a Kadarius Toney move if we're going to be 100% fair. Because I don't think that we're going to be grabbing it. We could grab a tackle at that spot. We're not worried about a tackle. Even if that may even make the Jags want to move up even more. So that's probably going to be Kadarius Toney. Then we have pass rusher. I don't really think that there's a threat to De'Ami Brown being taken. We're moving up with the Jaguars, and it's honestly it might be a light trade because I think that we could trade pretty nicely with the Eagles. I don't know why I selected the Chiefs right there. But we're going to be moving up, and you see a lot of picks for the Eagles. Let's look at their picks next year. They have holy shit. What is up with the Eagles? We might even trade 2023 draft capital. We're taking a 2023 fourth, which again, if the Jaguars do suck, they could turn into something very poor. You guys might want me to trade a 2023 third, but in that case, I'd have to trade a 2022 fourth. Like that's just about equal value. So we'll toss in a fifth and maybe a this year seventh, just to make it about equal. So the Jaguars are offering that to get a franchise left tackle. Again, Cam Robinson. There's a reason why y'all just put a freaking tag on a garbage tackle. You need one. Liam Eichenberg. So you're not going to feel the penalty of this trade for a couple years, and that means that you guys might be able to win the Super Bowl. That might mean that that's essentially a fourth-round pick. So I think it's fine. I actually really like it. Liam Eichenberg, you're going to be able to load up on players this year. So now you have Eichenberg, Elijah Moore. Again, we're losing that that ability to draft a tight end. But again, we have that third-round pick, guys. So I'm not really concerned at all. At number 38, I think this is just a brilliant move. I've seen it forever. I've seen it on my own forever. Terrace Marshall Jr., if you pass on Jamar Chase in the 1, Terrace Marshall in the 2 is essentially the same exact value. Because Terrace Marshall at points looked as good as Jamar Chase. But he seemed to lose that passion when they weren't going to win or didn't have a good signal caller. Now, he might lose a passion because they're not going to win, but he'll have his quarterback, his actual leader back. And again, we saw that quarterback turntable over there in LSU. It wasn't fun. Terrace Marshall showed they could be a number 1 wide receiver. So I love the potential here. I think he will be one of the top 4 or 5 wide receivers off the board, but he luckily fell to this point. So this spot, we could definitely go corner here, but I think we lost our primary weapon in the slot in Curtis Samuel, and we are going to look at Jalen Waddle at that spot. So this is a great spot for us to go Kadarius Toney. The tackle value is not great at all. Brady Christensen to me is going to be around a 5th-round value. Jalen Mayfield, concerns about him becoming a potential guard. Jackson Carman, again, stub arms, possibly a guard. Spencer Brown's a right tackle, which you have Taylor Moton for. So the only guy I can see is Stone Forsythe and James Hudson right now, and Walker Little. But I don't know if the NFL is going to be that high on Walker Little. I really don't. They could, but that might be a team that would sit him for a year to get ready. It's an interesting idea. So right here at this spot, I think this is a brilliant idea. Kadarius Toney out of Florida is going to be a great weapon for the Panthers. Plus, he's only going north a little bit, so used to that climate and everything. I love this pick so much. Kadarius Toney is a beast, and he deservedly is taken at this spot. I'd love to see him in a Joe Brady offense. Number 40. You guys already know where I'm rocking with this. We got an edge, and it's not Ronnie Perkins. I do not have Ronnie Perkins above Joseph Asai. Not in a million years. Don't even think that he's even in the same league, personally. Joseph Asai's potential is amazing. Use him as your outside linebacker that you're going to be using the blitz. You have a Luakon on the other side who's not that good of a blitzer, but you can use him more in that coverage. And I think he's going to be playing that Harold Landry role for Pease. So I'm a big fan of it. I'm a big fan of Osai on the squad. 41. This is a spot where I can see Walker Little. I'm going to be honest. This could be a spot where Walker Little goes. Because I know the NFL is higher than I am on him, but probably not as high as like a guy like Broshmo. So it's an interesting spot because there's a lot of routes that we can go. We can go slot corner. We can go linebacker because there are some really good linebackers left on the board. You still got Baron Browning, Nick Bolton on the board. But again, if we pass on them, not that many teams are going to take them, and you could probably get a Jabril Cox in the 2nd round, Pete Werner. In the 3rd round. Tackle-wise, again, I'm really scared shitless that the NFL is really high on Walker Little. So given that, I think we might be taking him here. Again, he doesn't need to start immediately because Taylor Decker's there. So he'll be able to sit a year and develop as a right tackle behind Vaitai as well. He could even start. So I think this is a perfect location for him as well. I think that he'll be able to grow. And it's a weird feeling I have. Really weird feeling. I think that the Bengals definitely are a contender. If they take Jamar 1, I'm going to project Walker Little 2. But Terrace Marshall's there. So I don't know. 42, we got the Giants. And Giants, we could be seeing them get a gadget weapon here. Don't think that's going to be the case. They could definitely be looking for an edge player here. Gregory Rousseau could definitely be a great target. Boundary corner-wise, I'm seeing a little bit. They brought on Adoree Jackson. They don't even need it. Linebacker-wise, though, they could take a cover linebacker like a Jabril Cox because I know they have a really good run stuffer in Alexander there. So That's an interesting one because we already got our guard spot fixed. So our offense is pretty much complete. So with the offensive spot complete, again, I'm going to give Nick Harris some credit. Washington center, I believe, drafted in like the 4th or 5th round last year. We're going to give him a little bit more time to develop. I actually had him, I believe, going to the Rams. But it's an interesting spot because we could definitely go Jabril Cox here, and then you have a more rangy linebacker. I don't think that's a Gettleman thing to do, though. You guys have to remind me on that. I'm very well just going to possibly take the upside on edge here because I know Gettleman loves his defensive ends. Defensive end. That's such an old term. But Gregory Rousseau has unlimited potential. I think he'd be a great bookend on this squad. So I think that he's going to be a great understudy. You guys have a lot of interior defensive linemen on that squad, but maybe not enough potential at edge. Take Gregory Rousseau. I like it. Speaking of a team that potentially could use edge, I know they brought in Arden Key, the Niners. So this is a spot where you already know me. I'm probably either going to, well, I just really skipped over my words. I'm either going to consider guard, like a Wyatt Davis, or we're going to consider corner with Tyson Campbell here, or Elijah Molden. We could definitely go Elijah Molden to get that slot corner for you. And it's a very interesting one because, I mean, if he is the only day one starting slot corner, and according to your scouts, and he also, I mean, you think about Kawan Williams actually not really having really good track history in terms of health, that might be the actual move that they're trying to lean towards in the second. To me, I think that has to be the pick. You know, you guarantee, like, slot corner is becoming very, very important in the NFL. And since he's a strong safety slot corner, he could definitely be that hybrid that they can use in multiple positions to fill in for injuries. And Elijah Molden's a beast, dude. So I'm a big fan. Elijah Molden. They have probably also seen him pretty, like, in person in the Bay Area quite a few times when they play Stanford. So that's another big plus. At 44, the Cowboys are sitting here, and obviously I'd be looking at a guy like Peyton Turner here. I heard the NFL is extremely high on Peyton Turner. Boogie Basham as well is going to be a day one impact. It just depends on what you're going after. Interior defensive line, we could go Levi Onwuzurike, but I don't know. I don't vibe with that idea at all. Boogie Basham could definitely be a good target here, though. He's a day one ready. He just doesn't have the consistency, but he's a day one ready edge player for a 4-3. And I mean, tackle wise, I can't see us going after a developmental tackle. Bray Christensen isn't developmental to me at all. I think he's kind of garbage to put it bluntly. To me, we got to get an edge here. It's either going to be Peyton Turner out of Houston, who, I mean, I'm going to be honest, he has some, he's pretty nimble, but Boogie Basham's day one ready. And I think the Cowboys really needed to win their division. I think you take Boogie Basham here. I think we took Gregory Rousseau last time, but Boogie Basham is definitely somebody I think the NFL is going to be pretty high on, especially after seeing him at the Senior Bowl. He played pretty well. He's just a high floor dude. And putting him next to DeMarcus Lawrence, that's going to be a nice pass rush duo. That's something the Cowboys haven't had in a while. 45, we got the Eagles. And what did I say? We're going after De'Ami Brown. So I think this is a good spot for him. I think it's a good spot. You take De'Ami Brown. He's going to be your boundary wide receiver. Now you have Rager, Fulgham, De'Ami Brown. I love De'Ami Brown. So, I mean, if you guys don't like him, that's your own deal. I mean, I absolutely love him. So I think this is insane value. So, cool. At number 46, the Patriots. This could be a Rondale Moore pick. Yeah, I might just pull the trigger on Rondale Moore. We're seeing the running backs fall, by the way. Yes, I know that we took Jamin Davis over Travis Etienne, but this might be a good spot to move up with a team like the Steelers. But again, there's Rondale Moore here. You don't second guess it. You take Rondale Moore. So the Chargers at this spot, we need a number one corner. That's guaranteed. I think Tyson Campbell has that ability to be a true number one corner. We're taking him. Tyson Campbell out of Georgia. At this spot, can we see another trade where the Raiders move back with the Steelers? I think we might. It seems unrealistic, but I mean, what? Linebacker? You need a Sam Blitzing linebacker. So Nick Bolton technically could be that for you. He's around that 240 mark, so that definitely could be a good target. But also, you need a right tackle who, I mean, I'm not going to take Spencer Brown at 48, but I could take him at 55. This is a tough one. I mean, I could also see Spencer Brown being taken right here. But if I'm not mistaken, what we took, we need wide receiver help desperately for the Titans. Honestly, I'm going to move up with the Steelers here. The Steelers are desperate. We're trying to win something. We're trying to remain relevant, and it hurts me as a Steelers fan. And the Raiders, we have enough picks. We look at what we got next year. We got a lot of picks as well. Steelers might be trying to leverage here, but we're going to send a 2023 fourth round pick and a 2023 fourth round pick. Or no, not well, we can send that fourth round pick in. And then we're going to honestly ask for that their fifth in return. So we're going to swap those late round picks right there and offer a 2023 fourth. I think these picks in the future are going to be very valuable in the draft because some teams just don't know. Steelers are taking Najee Harris, which it's surprising that he's falling here, but again, none of these teams are really looking for a guy like Najee Harris. So it's definitely something where I was like, oh, we kind of need to do that. And the Cardinals, you guys are sitting here, and I want to see what the Cardinals picks are. Let's just assume the Broncos are. Well, actually, that might be the trade. They still don't have a third round pick. That is surprising. Obviously, the Broncos don't have a third round pick either, but they do have a plethora of fourths. So I'm not going to be taking it out of the bank for the Cards here. We could go running back again. They do have a couple of running backs there. That's the problem for me. I would go Etienne, but it's just they have a lot of holes to fill. So we could be looking at a boundary wide receiver here. And I definitely am looking to trade back because we really don't have jack shit in terms of actual picks. I just can't trade back that far. Because again, if we could trade 2 fourths and try to get good value there, but we're only doing a 3-round mock, and to be honest, the Cards need some day one impacts. So looking at it, we could go Baron Browning here, an actual linebacker with real upside, something that I think that the Cardinals could definitely use. Levi Onwuzurike, I know you guys have a couple second-year players there, but you never know. Wyatt Davis could definitely be a bookend right next to Rodney Hudson. Corner-wise, we already got one, but we could get a day one impact. Like, there could be a day one impact that we could select in a guy like Paulson Adebo. If you guys really want to go balls to the wall, because we have no corner depth at all. But wide receiver-wise, man, I might just have to pull it. I think it's a great fit. I think the NFL is higher on him than we are. Talon Wallace, he's going to be a great fit. We're seeing a run on wide receivers, but there's a reason for it. I think that this wide receiver class is definitely not as good as last year's in terms of depth. You got Jalen Darden here. That's like pretty much one of my few late round pickups. Dax Milne. Tamorrion Terry's great. So I think that could be a third round pick that we could see. But I mean, really the actual value in here, like Frank Darby's not good. It's just I don't see it. At 50, the Dolphins, you know what? I'm sorry, Broshmo. I'm going Javonte Williams. He's an excellent RBBC back. And I think that the value is just too good. I think we're worried about the NFL overvaluing running backs now, and it's true. They're not going to. Like we're overvaluing their thought process on running backs because again, you could pick up a Trey Sermon later on, and that's pretty much Javonte Williams minus a couple steps. So I think that's a good spot for him. At this spot, though, we're getting single high safety all the way, getting Jamar Johnson. You know me, if we have a linebacker group that can actually play the run, I'm taking Jamar Johnson as a coverage guy any day over Richie Grant. But Richie Grant is better overall. You guys understand that? To me, it kind of makes sense. But to the Bears, we could definitely be looking for a day one impact at corner here. I can't take Kelvin Joseph. It doesn't fit what the Bears are looking for. Aaron Robinson definitely could be the pick because I don't think we have Buster Screen anymore, and we don't have Fuller, and we desperately need some help there. Tackle-wise, just can't see any of this shit, man. Stone Forsythe could definitely be a Bear. I'm not going to lie, that might be the pick, but I could see us trading back. Oh, man, I'm really just trying to find a way to justify moving up with the Broncos. I know the Broncos are going to try to move up, and I'm trying to see a team that desperately needs picks. And I'm looking at a team like the Rams, a team like the Seahawks. There are teams that need picks. I think the Bears gave up some picks, if I'm not mistaken. So let's assume the Broncos would trade up with the Bears. Let's see what the Bears could do, because I think I might want to move up with them in like the third round. Did we give away a next year 3? I forgot what we honestly gave up with the trade to get up to the Falcons pick. But not the Falcons pick, the Cardinals pick. But this could be a good spot to add in. We don't have any fourth round picks. This could be a good spot to add in a couple 4s, and then maybe we could see that next year 3 moving in. We'll take out one of these 4s. Oh, I'm quite surprised by that. It's so funny. Like, look at this small, minute jump goes from unlikely to likely. But this could be definitely something. We're getting a next year 3 out of it. And then the Broncos again. You still have that 4th round pick. So we're gonna leverage another pick here. We're gonna put in a 2023 5. The Bears are going to need it. They're in a rebuild mode. I'm going to be honest. So the Bears will be moving back up. Don't worry. But this pick, the Broncos are going to be leveraging. They're going to be going after Travis Etienne here. They're giving up most of their draft, but they got everything they need now. They're Super Bowl ready. Their secondaries fixed. Their linebacking core is fixed. Their defensive line solid. Offensive line good enough. Running backs great. Quarterback fixed. And wide receiver core excellent. This team's ready for the Super Bowl. And now the Bears, they do get some picks for the future that they desperately need because the Bears, we don't know what the hell to talk about the Bears. At this spot, though, to be honest, this is a really bad spot for the Titans. I'm going to be honest. This is a really bad spot. This is a good trade out spot as well because I can't see anything. Creed Humphrey's still on the board for a team that does need a center desperately. But again, the Steelers already moved up. We already took Najee Harris. So we're not going to be moving up anymore. There's still Levi Muzurike on the board. Still Creed Humphrey. You can even talk about Ronnie Perkins, Aaron Robinson. Excuse me. I think that the Rams could be interested in getting Aaron Robinson, though. The Rams could definitely move up for it because I don't think they need an immediate impact at tackle right now. I saw on their freaking Twitter, they're talking about which corner are we going to be taking in the draft. I'm like, oh, my God. But they lost Troy Hill. That's a big loss on their team. They don't really have a true slot corner anymore. So I can see the Rams trying to move up, but I don't see any teams in the way trying to get that. Pat Freiermuth, I think we honestly, if we're losing on wide receiver weapons, we got to go with a guy like Brevin Jordan here. We have to. You have to fill in that hole where Johnny Smith was. Or is it something Ferkser? Ferkser is not good enough. That's the bottom line. He's not good enough. So get a guy like Brevin Jordan and be able to fill that hole. Tannehill desperately needs a receiving weapon, and Brevin Jordan could definitely be that. At 54, this is where we're going to get an edge here. Peyton Turner. We have to. Corner, that's where I messed up before. Corner's desperately in need, but I know that like even Daniel Jeremiah has Peyton Turner in his 30s. So I think that Peyton Turner is seen pretty highly by the NFL. When I watched him against Brady Christensen, of course, this is what really sold me on the fact that Brady Christensen can't play NFL talent. He got destroyed by Peyton Turner, eaten up for lunch. And it was just, Peyton Turner has some beautiful moves as well. At this spot, we're definitely going to be going Spencer Brown here for the Raiders. 10 best athletic score all time. And you need that at your right tackle spot. At 56, we got the, I'm bugging on names, the Seahawks. I just took a big-ass exam, so excuse my random brain farts. I could definitely see them going after Kelvin Joseph. Someone I'm not a fan of, but something that definitely could happen. Again, I'm like so surprised that I actually traded up so many times with the Broncos, but I felt like they had only a couple needs, and you go and fill your needs. So Kelvin Joseph definitely could be the target here. I could definitely see him being a Seahawk. I know that you guys might need a center if I'm not mistaken. Creed Humphrey could be filling that role. Tackle-wise, I don't really see anything worth taking. Stone Forsythe could be the best guy here, but edge-wise, you could go after Ronnie Perkins or damn, you guys drafted that guy out of Tennessee last year in the second round, if I'm not mistaken. So this is a toughie. This is a tough one. We could definitely get a third wide receiver as well. Think about a guy like Nico Collins being a big-ass target. I am going to select an edge, though, most likely. Actually, we're going to go corner. We're going to go Kelvin Joseph here. I think the hype is too real. The 4-3 something is something that'll catch the eye of a team that just lost Shaquille Griffin. So I think that's the right move. Rams here. Y'all just lost out on a chance to refill your tight end hole pretty well. Tommy Tremble could be an interesting target here. Looking at slot corners, Aaron Robinson, definitely an easy target for me to go after. Tackle-wise, guard-wise, we could definitely go Wyatt Davis. I know they're outside zone, so they could definitely rock that. You guys did correct me on that. It was inside zone for the Seahawks. That was my bad. Tackle-wise, I just can't. I'm Stone Forsythe is the closest thing, but I can't. I really can't. Linebacker-wise, we desperately need linebacker help. So to me, I got to pull the trigger on Nick Bolton, man. We got to pull the trigger on Nick Bolton. The linebackers were atrocious, like literally atrocious last year. So get some help. We're investing a lot of money in the defense. Get some help. At 58, the Chiefs are rocking possibly a wide receiver here. I could see a guy like Nico Collins being a random big-ass target. It just doesn't fit. Amon-Ra St. Brown fits perfectly, in my opinion. Linebacker, another tier 1 need for you. Baron Browning's on the board. We're going to take Baron Browning. You already have your pass coverage guy in Willie Gay. I wish Nick Bolton fell here because that would be my pick. Baron Browning's gonna be the guy. It's just a too high ceiling of a player that you just can't pass up on it. And the Browns sitting here, this is where you get Levi Onwuzurike. Some people have him as their interior defensive line one, but yeah, I can't do that on a guy who didn't test that amazingly in the offseason and then also didn't play a year. So yeah. At number 60, the Saints are sitting here and it's down to linebacker, edge. Like, damn, we have so many needs. Linebacker, edge. Edge is something I'll address later, honestly. And wide receiver, you got Dwayne Eskridge here, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Oh, it was a tough one. But we lost Quan Alexander. We can't pass up on Jabril Cox. I like Jabril Cox here. And he's definitely good in the coverage role. Still think he could play more of that safety role than anything, but that eventually could definitely become a position of need. And then the Bills, you guys are sitting here and, you got Ronnie Perkins on the board, but I don't really see a really good 4-3 edge worth this pick. Running back wise, there's nothing either. Wide receiver, don't really see anybody fitting your squad. Interior defensive line wise, I can't even see anybody. Milton Williams could definitely be that could be an interesting pick. I can see Milton Williams being a pick here. But there still is like Creed Humphrey on the board, Wyatt Davis, players that some teams might be very high on. But I can see we're not going to move up 3 times to the Jags. Jags could be moving up for Pat Freiermuth, but I don't see any team wanting to get Pat Freiermuth until then. So I'm not really worried about that. Slot corner wise, does any team need a slot corner? You could look at the Packers. They could desperately need one, but they have so many needs right now to win a Super Bowl. It's a little bit sad. The Bills could be trading out of this spot. The Bears could be trying to move back up to select a guy, but maybe that would cost them a little bit too much. It's a tough one because I could just see what's a team that could use a guard desperately? The Jets already filled their hole. We could see the Texans trying to move up for Wyatt Davis though. They do kind of need like that. Oh, Creed Humphrey. They do need a center because they did lose Nick Martin. We're gonna move back a little bit with the Bills. The Bills are here. Where are they? I'm so bugging right now. There's the Bills, you little bastard. So we're going to be moving back a couple spots, and we're going to be acquiring a next year pick. So because hopefully they're going to show to Deshaun that they're going to be able to protect him this year. So the Bills accepted the offer. We're going to be selecting Creed Humphrey out of Oklahoma. Keep him around the South in Houston. That's a really bad way of describing it. But you need help on the offensive line. He can play guard or center. And I think that his IQ issues will be sufficed by the fact that Deshaun knows what the hell he's talking about if he's even taking snaps. But I like the mobility of Tyrod Taylor. He'll be able to mitigate the garbage IQ that is seen with Creed Humphrey. At 62, we got the Packers. And y'all need a tackle. Y'all need a corner. Y'all need interior defensive line. I'm not reading it off of there. I'm reading it out of memory and out of what you guys have told me. Y'all need a linebacker too. And can't see it. Can't see it this spot. It really sucks. But, you got to do what you got to do. Interior defensive line-wise, we could go Milton Williams here. You don't need a nose tackle, if I'm not mistaken. But cornerback is a pretty big need. This is a tough one. Really tough one. Because you go Aaron Robinson, you have a slot corner. And a really fucking good one, day one. Tackle-wise, I just can't see anything here. I'm going to be going Aaron Robinson. I'm going to be pulling the trigger on a slot corner. Just because I think you have Kevin King on the outside. So even if he is the slot corner, he's definitely not the future. So Aaron Robinson, he's really good in the run game as well, something that you guys are desperately in need of assistance in. So Aaron Robinson is going to be a good target for you guys. 63, we got the Chiefs back on the board. You guys definitely could be going after Amon-Ra St. Brown here. I think that'd be a good target. Again, you don't need tackle anymore. Well, you don't really need tackle anymore. To me, I'm going to go Amon-Ra St. Brown here. It's a perfect fit. Kind of feels like a Sammy Watkins, so go that way. And at 64, we got the Buccaneers. Don't know why I'm bugging on people's names. I could definitely see a trade down option here, but to be fair, Davion Nixon could be a pick here. Tommy Togiai is pretty big. I'm looking at Tyler Shelvin later on, though. Tyler Shelvin could be this pick, but this is a good spot to trade down because I don't think anybody's going to be going after a heavy nose tackle like that. Wyatt Davis still on the board. Javon Holland on the board. Man, even we already took safety for them. So Quinn Miner is also on the board, who I'm a big fan of. To be honest, I hate to say this, my Steelers fans, we're going Quinn Miners here. Definitely somebody to develop, and you can put him in at center. You can put him in at guard. You can put him anywhere. So I think that that's going to be excellent depth, and I absolutely love it. I don't think he falls out of round 2. So let me know what you guys think. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on the far side. Peace.